Hey tubers and tubettes, my name is Dave Dixon. I live in Northern California. If you don't know who I am, good to meet you, and thank you for finding me. So I was watching a video of about 15 days ago talking about my diet and what I was going to do and what I wasn't going to do, how I had laid it out. And it's weird because I feel like I'm evolving my diet into what makes more sense for me. I mentioned keto diet, and I was even talking about butter coffee. And basically what people are doing on keto diet is putting like 2 tablespoons or 2 teaspoons of butter, straight butter, right into their coffee. And I did try it like about 3 times. And then later I started thinking, this cannot be good for me, because I kind of imagine it going through my bloodstream and getting in my heart and stuff. So I decided to stop doing that. I did it about 3 times, that was it. And I said that I had a modified keto diet, but what I meant by that is that I'm gonna go more, meats and stuff. And I even ate a steak for the first time. I hadn't eaten steak in such a long time. But then I kind of thought about it, and I guess Western medicine, that red meat is really not that good for me. I don't eat a bunch of it. So kind of went back to chicken and stuff. And then one of the things is they talk about not eating veggies and fruits. And I grew up on an organic farm. My mother was a big organic farmer, and we're Japanese American. So it's really hard for me to believe that any kind of vegetable is bad for you. I mean, not going to eat potatoes and stuff like that, but or a lot of bread. So really what I found that my modified keto diet is more about is to cut out carbs and sugar. I didn't say anything at all at the first video about sugars, but sugars are bad, especially processed sugars. And then I think carbs, they turn into sugar. So one of the big benefits I've noticed in just only 15 days is my blood sugar, my glucose. So I have to check that every day, and that's something you can't really fudge about. What it is what it is, and it's a representation of what you're eating. So this morning I had a really good blood sugar count because last night I had a really good meal. So my modified keto diet, like last night we had chicken breast with no skin. My wife, she doesn't want to have skin on her chicken breast. And then we had a really nice salad. And I think because I'm limiting my eating time between 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock at night, and then I'm doing a intermittent fasting the rest of the time, this is something I could see myself doing the rest of my life. It doesn't bother me at all. I usually have a coffee in the morning with a sugar-free creamer, and that's about my extent of my worst foods that I eat. I know is that probably that creamer, but I do that. I've done that for many years, even when I was overindulging. 1 cup of coffee was enough for me, just to kind of get me started, the caffeine boost. And then because I'm exercising in the morning, I'm exercising on an empty stomach, where I fasted for at least 8 hours, but most of the time it's even longer than that. And I think it is good to exercise on an empty stomach. Some of the things I've noticed is normally I have a lot of stomach issues. I'm constantly using Tums, or even in some cases I was using a nauseous medicine, anti-nauseous. And I've almost completely stopped. I don't think I've had it in over a week. And that's kind of unusual for me. But I think a lot of it is cutting out the carbs. I really do think that's a big part of it, and also the sugar. Now, the other weird thing that's happened to me too is I take, I think it's called Resulti. It's an injection of, for an arthritis medicine that I have to take it on a weekly basis. It's super expensive, and I usually have a big copay on that, but I haven't had to take it in these 3 weeks. That's also another thing. If I said, well, I'm not taking it, oh no, I will be in pain. I will be in serious pain on my other diet. I mean, it'll eventually will just be to the point I cannot not take it. And so I haven't taken it because I don't feel any flare-ups, and I'm hoping it has to do with my diet and my lack of sugars and carbs. On the weekends, I could go a little bit crazy. I know I had 3 pieces of bread on at the dinner on Saturday, and I felt a little guilty about it. And I did have a little ice cream at the end of that dinner, so felt a little bit, a little bit guilty about that. But during the weeks, I'm like militant about it. I've had friends offer me, like Oreo cookies after dinner, at one of their houses, and I was telling them, they were asking me, do you want an Oreo cookie? I go, I would love an Oreo cookie, but I can't eat it because it's the food of the devil. And I try to think of it that way, that I cannot put that into my body. It will make me feel good for a little bit, but then overall, I can feel the effects of that added sugar because of my diabetes. So my glucose levels are getting better, and I may have to drop down to 1 metformin. I have 2 of them, but this morning I was at, with 2 metformin, I was at 78. Now, I'm a person that's always like 120 to 150, always 120 to 150. And I was actually taking 2 metformin with Ozempic. But in one of my previous videos, I explained why I am banned from Ozempic. I cannot have it because my wife says I can't have it and my doctor says I can't have it. I did like it because of the weight loss benefits, and it did help so I could eat more sugary things because it was helping with my glucose. But once I had to stop that, that's what started this whole diet thing, knowing that I was going to end up gaining the 25 pounds I had lost when I started Ozempic. And then and so I wanted to share, because I was watching the video, my first video, just 15 days ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't say anything about sugars. And I'm definitely cutting off sugars. I didn't say anything about the intermediate fasting, and and that's important to me, So that's something. These are things that I can do the rest of my life. It doesn't bother me at all, actually, not to eat breakfast. I was only, brought that into my head because of the advertising, from cornflakes and stuff. The most important meal of the day. It really is not. It's too much sugar. And also, wheat and stuff, which I don't want to have that. So, and then the last thing is the 10,000 steps. So I've always done more than 10,000 steps. In fact, yesterday I tried to shoot for 10,000 steps. I was pushing my grandson in the stroller, and I got my 10,000 steps, which is 5 miles. So that's a lot, pushing a stroller around. He was sleeping. And then after he woke up, my wife was playing pickleball with her girlfriend in front of their house. They have a court. And then afterwards they were like, do you want to go to Lodi Lake? And my response with my wife is always, yes, I do. And so we went on a continued walk, and I ended up getting 13,500 steps total. So every day it's like that. I always end up getting extra steps, after I've done my 10,000 or focused on it. But I want to make sure that the 10,000 steps that I'm getting are on my phone. So I could bicycle, and I'm converting 10 minutes of bicycling as 1,000 steps. That's about the right conversion. But the problem is, if I do it all off my phone, then maybe on my phone it only showed that I went 3,000 steps, and it's not going to show that I did my minimum of 10,000 per day. So I've got to walk a certain amount to get that 10,000 per day, so I can see those bars going up there. I just saw it last night. It was like 15 days of 10,000 plus steps. And then I did additional stuff, so I just added on top of it. Like, I'm riding the bicycle for 20 minutes, then that would be another 2,000 steps I can add on top of my 10,000. But I got to get that 10,000 on my phone. I want it to be listed on my activities that I do. So it's bringing up my average quite a bit from what it used to be. Maybe I would usually do like maybe 5,000, and maybe the average was like 4,000. So the walking, I think, is a big deal. I also watched the guy who was he was a trainer, and he has some kind of military training type thing. And he got so tired of people being all excited at the very beginning, and then they would only make it a week or two, and then they would not contact him. They would ghost him. And even though he had been paid maybe a couple $100, it was really frustrating for him to even spend the time with them when they're not really serious. He says it's hard to tell because they look like they're very serious. They're telling him, I'm very serious, and they're putting money up too. But he said he just gets so it brings you down, about how unserious they are about it. So now what he does is he says, cut back on the things and there's a lot of things we know that are bad to eat, and just do 10,000 steps per day. Nothing else, just do 10,000 steps per day. Then take a picture of it on your phone and send it to me, or take a picture of you completed your walk, send it to me, or take a picture of, or just send a text saying that I completed it, and then send it to me. And what he's found is that people that can do that for 30 days, at least they have the ability to start to take instructions on dieting and everything else. And it's a big deal, because we live in a society where we want to have everything done in 2 weeks. So you have to, when he talks to people now and they say, well, how long do I have to do this to get the results, to get healthy? He says it's going to be 1 to 2 years. And they're just stunned, like, what? I thought I could do it in like 2 weeks. No, you can lose the weight in 2 weeks, but to get healthy, it's going to take you 1 to 2 years. How long did it take you to get fat? 10, 15, 20 years. Why do you think it can be done in 2 weeks? You can get the weight off. A lot of it's going to be water weight, and you got to be honest with yourself. But to really get healthy, it's going to take you about 1 to 2 years of consistent, working out and getting in that mindset. So that's my focus now, is I'm looking at it for the long term. Is this something I can do for the long term? My wife and I, she saw my results, and they're not real huge right now, but I'm going in the right direction. So now she wants to lose weight, and so we had salad yesterday at lunch, and then we had a salad for dinner, and it had chicken on it, and she put like dried cranberries in it, and some walnuts in it. It was really good, and she had chicken in it. I have my fat-free balsamic dressing on it, and so it's really nice to have her involved with it. And she's trying to go she did do her 10,000 steps yesterday, but part of it was pickleball. So I told her it doesn't make a difference how you get it, just shoot for that 10,000 steps. And so she was so excited because she lost a little bit of weight, and let's be honest, it was probably water weight, but at least it's going in the right direction for her. I told her it's something that you're going to have to do, for 1 or 2 years to get healthy, because look how long it took you to get unhealthy. So it's really unrealistic to think that it can reverse in 2 weeks or something like that. So I'm hoping that she's on board with it. I'm not pushing her at all. In fact, I don't say anything to her about it, because I want her to do it because she wants to do it. And that's how it's got to be for me too. Mine was really my loss of being able to take Ozempic and worrying about my weight going right back up to 240. So my goal is still to get down to 200. And this morning I weighed myself. I was at 214. And so it's going in the right direction, but I can really see it in the fat being dissolved on my stomach. And so that makes me feel good about it. And my goal, I think I still have, like, let's just say 50 more days till my birthday. And that's my goal, is to get down below 200. That doesn't mean I'm healthy. That means I got the weight part of it controlled, but I have to continue with the 10,000 steps. And I'm adding more things to it too, like bicycling. So I just want to tell you guys where I'm at on it. And I'm a lot different than I was 15 days ago when I made that video. So thank you very much for finding me. I hope you find some inspiration in this. Maybe this might be something that you're going to do, and maybe this is the information that you needed. So thank you much, and have a great day.